Hello everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance and for a couple years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. This is all the stuff that we were shipping out today on Monday for the weekend. It was a lot of stuff going out. It's been crazy here. I got like 4 hours of sleep yesterday, so I'm super tired. I have to go through this quickly, even though I'll probably end up yapping for like 25 minutes because there's so much cool stuff to talk about. So let's jump right into it. First up right here is going to be these Warhammer 40k Annihilator sprues. There was these Annihilators, like individual miniatures. There's, I think, one in each of these sprues. I have 6 of these. There was like 2 lots of 3 that I made. So that like Warhammer 40k kind of have like a bunch of troops out there. So this person sent me an offer for $40, so $20 for each of my listings. I had 2 listings, but I thought I already sold this, so I waited until today to accept the offer. I got it yesterday, and the moment I got out of the storage unit, I checked to make sure that I still had them. I did, so I accepted it, but it only had like an hour left on the offer remaining. It had been almost like 20 hours or something, so I sent a message to the person like, hey, if you already picked up some other stuff, that's okay. I just want to let you know that's why it took forever to take your offer. Either way, let me know if you still want it, because like I accepted the offer, so now it's sold, but I can cancel it and just say like buyer has to cancel because it's not a big deal, right? They could have picked it up from someone else in the meantime, waiting for my offer. I don't think you can message without, unless if I sent a counter offer, that so there's no way for me to pre-message this person that like, hey, I want to make sure that I have them. So $40 for this is pretty good. All right, moving along, we have, I'm a little disorganized here, but I'll do my best. We have Keyforge Deluxe Pack. That's a collectible deck building or a deck game. Like you purchase a deck and then you can't change it because they have an algorithm that makes the decks. They'll have unique names. Really fun game. I can't talk too much about it. This is going to be the little token pack right here that you get in the deluxe pack. Basically like a starter set, which has more stuff to it. These are the keys of the game. These are amber. Oh, I forgot. These are just like little damage tokens and stuff. Super good game, one of my favorites. I think it's super underrated right now. I have a bunch of stuff listed. It is a cheap game right now for people. Blows my mind. $7.19 for the tokens, which is actually pretty good for the tokens. Like I think the starter sets are kind of like $20, so they could have just gotten some decks with those, but maybe they just want the tokens. All right, moving along, we have the West Indies right here. Got a bunch of these like maps, brochures a long time ago. We kind of started a lot of our eBay with this kind of stuff before we found other things and found our niche. I love this kind of stuff. This is from National Geographic. Normally, the National Geographics are kind of I know there's like a couple of good ones out there, but for some reason, I do pretty well with like the little insert maps. Maybe people are just trying to complete their National Geographics. So yeah, this one sold for $6.99. Those I usually get like on the pennies, pennies on a dollar type of thing. All right, I do have another map, but that's the one not next. Like I said, I have 4 hours of sleep. All right, we have Hero Quest, Elf Pack, which is an expensive Hero Quest expansion to a board game. Really cool vintage board game. I think I definitely have 2 of the base game. One of my base games is missing like a terrain piece or 2. And then the other one I bought from someone, they said that they said it had all the expansions in there. I never fact checked them, but I paid a cheap price where just the base game alone would cover it. I think I paid like 40, 50, or $60, which is really cheap for Hero Quest, and to have the expansions when they said, instead of me just like sitting there counting up all the bits and pieces, I was like, are you happy with that price? They're like, yes, please. I just got it. I think they got it at like a storage unit or something. They're like, I don't care, please. No one else wants it. I'm like, okay, cool. So, but this, sorry, side story, but this is going to be 2 pieces to the board game, just 2 to that expansion, because the expansions usually are less printed than the main game. So we have like this little DM screen. I haven't played the expansion. The base game I played when I was a kid. I was like 6 and someone was running me through the game, or 7. So like memory's pretty hazy about it, but it's really cool and I do own it. All right, so 2 pieces went for $29.99. Yes, I said that correctly. Really cool board game. I have to check if my copy has the actual expansion stuff. I would not sell it. Just want to count and make sure I have everything. All right, moving along. That's why people buy this the bits and pieces, because you do get these old games, and you might be like my other one. Like I said, I'm missing 1 piece, which is not a big deal. You can make it. You can make the game work, right? All right. Now we got this Disc Wars by Legend of the Five Rings, but this one I sold a couple of them. So let's see. This one is the Ruined Fortress of the Scorpion right here. So I've heard of Disc Wars before. I've seen it at conventions. I don't think it's around anymore. I know they did different IPs. I think they did like a fantasy one. I want to say they did a Warhammer one, but I don't know if I'm like blowing smoke here. And then this one is going to be Legend of the Five Rings. So this is like what a booster pack looks like, I believe. So yeah, Wizards of the Coast, I think made this. I see Fantasy Flight Games symbol on there, and I see AEG, Alderic Entertainment Group, I believe. So yeah, really cool booster pack. I'm not sure how this game plays, but I like how they look because they look like these little pogs, right? So they look like little pogs, small ones, big ones. So super cool concept. This was actually a combo order, but they paid at 2 separate times, so I have to like refund all the excess shipping. Where's the other one that they bought? I'll show you guys when I run across it. Oh, it's over here. I have stuff in piles right now. Like I said, I'm disorganized. This is the Imperial Edition right here, the War Fortress of the Crab. This was the Shadowlands. That's probably like the sets or whatever, like the overarching sets. So when you get like a Pokemon booster box, you'll get like whatever. It would be like, geez, I'm drawing a blank right now. It'll be like X and Y, and then there'll be like the set underneath it. All right, moving along, we have. So I couldn't identify this. I listed this a long time ago. I could probably identify them now. I mean, not right here on the spot, but I could probably like use my resources better. So it's a bunch of these green. They're like sci-fi alien women. That's what I put as the listing. Really cool plastic miniatures. They're kind of like a neon green right there. Yeah, these end up going for, let's see, $7.29. All right, moving along, we have a adventure book here. This is for Rifts. It says hook, line, and sinker. I think this is going to be an RPG, some kind of sci-fi one. There's a lot of marks on the front. Inside, it's still readable. It's completely fine. On the back here, there's like another mark here. So it's sad because I just randomly, I thought I had a couple of these. So when I saw my listing, I was like, oh, I forgot to actually picture this one mark here. So I sent them a couple of pictures showing that it's just right here. The inside's clean. I said, hey, do you still want it? It's like, I'm sorry, I like missed a picture. So that was just me randomly going through the pictures when I'm trying to find this in the storage unit. So we'll see. They didn't respond. I'm gonna have to ship it out anyway. So hopefully there's no issues, but I do feel bad. Sold for $7.42. That's one of those things where like if I get a return or like an issue, that's gonna be on me. That's my bad. But all right, moving along, I will make it right if there are issues. I don't think it's like a big deal because there's other marks that I showed in the pictures that are on like the front. It's all just like on the cover and the back. All right, we have, what was it? Sorry, I lost my place. Oh yeah, this is super cool. We got this Jumanji movie sticker. I'm not sure like where this came from. Super cool thing. Oh, is this the new Jumanji or was this looks like the old one. It says 1995. Super good movie. I think Anetta's never seen this movie, or she saw it once and didn't like it. I'm into board games, so obviously even when I was a kid, I was into them. I still hear like anytime I hear kind of like thumping, I get really, really like uncomfortable and nervous. Super cool game, really immersive. I technically had the vintage one at some point. It's not obviously it's not like the movie, but yeah, I like this movie a lot. $10.12. I'm glad someone picked it up. Sorry, I'm just going through some good memories here. All right, that's why a lot of people pick up this stuff. There's a lot of nostalgia. There's still stuff people love. All right, moving along, we have a combo order of War Machine. So this is going to be Kador faction. I sold a couple of War Machine and Horde stuff, so I have to like actually find the ones that they picked. So the Kador faction is going to be, they're supposed to be painted red. They're kind of like more the Russian faction. So this guy's name is Vladimir Pesky. I'm probably saying it right here. So this is like an individual character. This might be like a Warcaster. It is. It says right there, Warcaster, which is like your main character with their special abilities. You only get one usually. And then these right here, sorry, I don't have what I wrote down in my notes, but these are 5 painted. These are going to be light Warjacks, I believe. I don't really want to take them out. I don't want to have any damage and stuff like that, so I apologize, guys. But that sold for $29. They were super excited. They asked if they can get combined shipping. It's totally good with me. All right, Disc Wars, everybody went through that. All right, 7th Continent expansion, really good board game. Of course, when I'm low on time, I have a lot of cool stuff I could talk on and on and on about. This is the Forbidden Sanctuary expansion. I haven't played this expansion. It adds a bunch of these cards. The cards essentially are part of the island of the game, and they're also going to be events, equipment, and stuff. It's a survival game. You start as players, survivors, on a continent called the 7th Continent, and you are given a curse, and the curse is kind of like a mystery, and you're given clues on these cards, and you're basically trying to explore, survive, feed yourself, try to get through traps, fight monsters, or like not aliens. It's like, well, I don't know if there's aliens. There's definitely gonna be like snakes and stuff and spiders and stuff like that. So really cool game where you're solving essentially a mystery in a board game. It takes a long time to play, a lot of cards to it. This just adds a bunch of cards. $11.99. I got a 7th Continent and all of the expansions, or a lot of expansions, at auction. I was super hyped for it. I've sold most of this stuff now, so it's going to a good home. All right, moving along, we have a book here. I'm tired, but also full of energy, you know. I'm running on the last bit of steam. People should understand that. We got this, I think it's like a 1967 like photo book. It says I bid here. We get some like interesting. I'm gonna make sure that there's nothing too too fancy, or not too fancy. You know what I mean? I'll make sure it's like appropriate. Just like a bunch of popular photos, probably from like a company or from a person. There's some like headshots and stuff like that. There's also what, still life, yeah, black and white photos. So yeah, here you go. You got like a snow field over here with a Ferris wheel. This ended up going for $21. Really cool, like coffee table books. I'm glad someone's can appreciate it. I definitely looked through the pictures when I got it. I do appreciate some of the stuff when I'm just like listening. I'm like, oh, this one's that's a really cool thing. I'm not sure what the iBid is, the company, or any of the history, unfortunately. All right, moving along, we have more War Machine, Kador, Doom Reavers units. So you always see me sell them as like built miniatures, and then the single miniatures come in these packets right here, the little clam shells, which is what they're called. This right here is like a box. A lot of these also come in boxes. You open it up and it's kind of like more clamshell stuff inside there. But yeah, this is like a units group where you get like 5 or 6 miniatures. This ended up going for $20. This is called the Doom Reavers. All right, I don't know how they play, but all right, moving along, we have, oh, this is Hordes. So War Machine is the steampunk, Hordes is the fantasy. We have a Circle Ouroboros. This is going to be like the werewolves, the nature, Mother Nature, the warlocks, the lightning, the earth, you know, basically like Mother Nature coming alive, protecting itself. Chromac, the ravenous, the warlock right here. I'm not sure if warlock, I thought they were called warcasters, but maybe they're warcasters for War Machine. Maybe they're warlocks. I think they're warlocks is the main character for the fantasy version, Horde. So super cool. When someone tried to get me into the game Circle, Ouroboros was the one that spoke to me because I like Earth and Mother Nature and like animals and stuff like that. So I like the theme that they're like protecting it, and I like how they also have like golems, and they have these like stones where they're like, I think troops can like teleport between, and I like the idea of teleporting. I used to play a bunch of StarCraft 2. I was playing Protoss, the best race, obviously. That's fighting words for some people. Protoss, they would have these characters. Oh my God, what were they called? I can't think of it. They're the ones that have blink. Oh my God, it's been so long. It's been so long since I played some StarCraft 2. But I like the idea of the blinking. I like being able to micromanage your, like, in a tactics game. I like just like the planning of it. I don't like the just rigid movements. All right, moving along. I know I told you I was going to yap about some stuff for like 25 minutes. We have these board games. These are, I have to be careful with this. I think this is SPI, Simulations Publications, right here. It's Foxbats and Phantom. Really awkward board game shape. You kind of open it up and you're going to have like the map, you're going to have the rules, and then underneath it, it's kind of practical too, because underneath it is a tray. It houses all of those little chit tokens in their little sections, so you can divide all the different troops and stuff, like the airplanes, or maybe this race's infantry and stuff like that. So yeah, got a bunch of these a bit ago. Took a little bit to go through. Shape's really awkward for just all sorts of purpose. It's awkward to put on a shelf. It's awkward to count. But yeah, I don't make board games like this anymore. This sold for $30, which is pretty good. I like getting those weird shaped board games. I know other people don't want to deal with it, and then I deal with it, and then I get to sell them to someone that's going to appreciate and play them. All right, moving along. This is going to be some more board game bits and pieces right here. Took me a long time to figure these out. I had these separate little pieces. I think I did a video about me going through these pieces at one point. I've actually posted a good amount of like little bits of collections I've gone through and like how I organize and sort them. They take a long time to record. That's why there's like less of those videos that I do. But these end up, I put them together. They are by Games Workshop Battlefleet Gothic, which I haven't heard of before, but it looked like a Games Workshop space game where you're building these spaceships. I'm assuming Warhammer 40K because we're talking space here. And then these are tokens for the game. These are not complete, but I saw that the game itself and the miniatures, they go for a lot of money. So just for this little bag of tokens, I got $35.99, which is really awesome. They're going to go to someone that is probably going to use them for their game. They are kind of like a cheaper quality cardboard token. So I'm assuming if someone's like replacing their pieces, they either probably got like a drink spilled on them, they got damaged, or they just want more of the tokens. Sometimes you just don't get enough. All right, next up is going to be Star Trek. This is going to be the Attack Wing Deep Cuts by WizKids, and I can't find it, and it's right here, right next to me, like normal. Defiant class ship right here. Don't know enough about Star Trek to know like how popular this particular ship is. I've been selling these a lot. I got like a really small collection of the track attack wing stuff. But this is just the version where I don't think there's like the rules, because Attack Wing does have a dragon game. It has like, I think, like a military, maybe like a World War II one. I don't know which war. And then they're gonna have the Star Trek. They might have other stuff, but yeah, these are just like pre-primed miniatures where you can just, it already has the spray paint on it basically, so someone can open it up, they take their acrylic paint, they can paint it, and then I think they can substitute it in for their figure that they have. So I think it's if you want to paint your own. This is my guess on it. I still have yet to look it up, but yeah, this sold for $11.99. You actually get Attack Wing stuff, it sells for a lot more. All right, moving along. I wrote down Grand Canyon. Why did I write down? Oh yeah, it's this right here. This is going to be a puzzle. This is 1,000 pieces. I do actually love puzzles. I have like a weird eclectic array of hobbies. This is not my puzzle, but yeah, this is just a nice puzzle. You can tell someone's going to enjoy all the different colors and putting it together. Obviously, I like puzzles, so I know like what someone will enjoy, because I do them myself. I have a couple of cool ones as well. This ended up going for, I've been wanting to do a puzzle for a while, $9.72. This kind of inspired me to bring out one of my puzzles. I have like I don't know if you can see, it's a Cats of America. It's like this like cats. Which type of cats? Oh, I can't think of it. I'm just like brain fried right now. All right, I'm gonna move along, but I do want to do it soon. It's gonna happen. It will happen actually. Encyclopedia of Gardening right here, hardcover book. Get a lot of stuff at estate sales. We like to get stuff in bulk. We usually go last day. We usually know the people at this point because we keep going and over and over and over again to the people that have the last day sales. They eventually get excited because at the last day, usually people think all the good stuff is gone, which may or may not be true, but we've always found the best stuff on the last day. We only once got lucky in the first day. It's so, I guess people are so really like, I guess, aggressive the first day that we just kind of stop. We just like going to the last day and finding a lot of cool stuff, make a big pile, make a good deal. So this sold for $9.74. Something else sold for $9.75. It's going international, so it's super cool. Someone's gonna want some gardening stuff from America, I guess. And it's, I forgot where it's going. All right, next up, I don't fully know what this is, but I'm gonna take a guess. Got this from a storage unit. This is going to be, I think it's called Capitol Records. It's like a storage, I want to say for records or laser discs or something. It looks like you put these two black pieces and then you have these silver bars between them, and then you're probably going to slot something in between. So yeah, my guess is this is for records. This ended up selling for $22.49. Yeah, when I normally got this, I'm like, what is this? And I just look into it and I figure it out. All right, what else do we have? We still have more. We're still going. Everyone's still with me. We have some Flames of War, British Airborne Troops. Got a bunch of Flames of War stuff. If you saw the video of me going through this, like some of my little collection purchases, these are going to be two different packets. They are going international. Can't do the combined invoice. You've heard me cry about it in my whiteboard video. Super frustrating. I feel frustrated for the person, so they had to pay for these two separately. Together, though, it's a $45 order, so just a bunch of troops and the bases. This has some like rock gravel basing. This basing has some like, I don't know, it looks like they were planning on doing something else. It looks like they put some like paste or something. And my only guess is they were probably gonna take some like brown or something and like scrape over it to make it look like, you know, dirt, but it looked like unfinished. So I'm not too sure what that is. $45. It's hard to be in someone's mind of what they were envisioning for their miniatures. All right, it's not a big deal for people. They can fix it up, add their own basing, or they can just pop off the miniatures and then they're good to go and put them on their own bases. It's really not a big deal. Moving along, we have medieval England right here. Another National Geographic inserts right here for the England. Really cool picture, like some castles and stuff. And I see like Scotland on here. I like the arts, really well done. But yeah, I don't know why I sold a couple of these today. $9.75. Next up is going to be some promos for a board game. These are going to be Takanoko, which is a game where I think you're playing as farmers, and then I think you're growing bamboo, and then I think you're feeding a panda. I think that's the goal of the game. Never played it. Kind of embarrassing to be into board games and no one ever taught me. Never got around to it. I owned it at one point. I think I sold it. You get a lot of board games. Got to make some cuts somewhere. I know it's a really good family game. I've heard that. These are the little bags for the players, little bamboo bags. These are going to be promotional bags that you can replace the regular ones with. There's a green, pink, and yellow. And then these are they're called, I think, irrigation sticks. These are like a blue acrylic upgraded components. It's hard to explain, I guess, like just like certain pieces might come cardboard or something like that, and then you can purchase better feeling pieces. It's the way where board game designers can keep a board game cheap for the base game. But if you want to basically support them further, and if you want to upgrade your game, which players do love, and then you get to support them, they add the extra cost on the side instead of just having everything upgraded and the base game being expensive, if that makes sense. Those two promos sold for $20. I still have a bunch of the irrigation sticks, and I only have one more set of the baggies. All right, moving along, we have Battlefront bases, which is sad because I forgot to write down how much I got for these right here. It's 30 of them. These are the bases for Flames of War and other similar games. So like these characters are actually on the bases. These are the bases themselves, the little squares. There's different sizes. Some of them has circular indents where you put the infantry because they have the round bottom. There's 30 of these. I want to say I got a good amount of money for these bases, like 18 or 24, but I'm taking a guess. I accidentally forgot to write it down. All right, moving along. I did forget to write down how much I got for these, but I do happen to remember. These are going to be Civil War like cannon artilleries. I believe they're 54 millimeters. The special thing about these is they just look like regular plastic. On the bottom it says it's by a company called Dolcop, which is made in Italy. I noticed the Dolcop. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. There were a lot of the figures. I believe it's from the 70s, early 70s. I'm sure maybe some are from the 80s, and I definitely know 70s. And then a lot of the little infantry and stuff were going for a lot of money, really expensive. So I listed these. I think I got $47.99, and it sold relatively quickly. There was no other ones out there like this, so maybe I undersold it, but like it's not a big deal for me. I'll keep an eye out for the Dole Cop stuff. It's interesting because I did get more stuff from this particular collection. I do have a whole bin of like soldiers and stuff to go through. I wanted to make a video with it. I think it's currently like in one of our cars, and I just have to go through it. So if I see Dole Cop, maybe I'll raise the price on it because that sold instantly. But it's going to go to someone who was probably waiting for this because I was the only one that had it. Like I was the only one that listed it or had it listed, and they bought it pretty quickly. So that means someone was waiting, and they're probably excited. They might be like, "Oh, I got that $100 Civil War cannons I've been wanting for my collection for $47.99," and I'm sitting here thinking I got that for like in a collection for like a quarter. So I'm excited too. So everyone's excited. All right, next up, letterheads. Really interesting stuff. I like to anything. This was in a bag of garbage. I said, please, can I go through it? It wasn't food and stuff like that. It was just people cleaning out like their storage units. Went ahead and got it from the garbage. This is just a bunch of cool letterheads. I know people like cool paper and stuff. Not everyone just wants like generic paper. I do like different types of paper. It's another little hobby of mine. I like little notebooks and stuff like that, little journals and stuff to write in. I love it all over the place. So I know other people love it. I know I have like some weird hobbies. It's kind of crazy. I just don't talk about all of them all the time. All right, $7.79. I just knew someone's going to appreciate that. Also, someone like wrote us a hand letter. I showed that in the video too. It's really cool stuff. All right, enough geeking out about paper. Moving along, we have Caesar miniatures right here. Back to the nerdy stuff. Modern U.S. Elite Force. This is an incomplete box. Got a bunch of these incomplete boxes. To me, it doesn't matter that these are incomplete. So like this might say like, oh, it comes with whatever. Like let's just say I can't see it right now because there's like weird tape on it. 40 troops, and this still has 20, and it's like people can still use them. It's not like this is not like a particular game where you need 40. This is just it'll be a 1 out of 72 scale. It just lets you know how big they are, and there's 20 of them. So if someone needs 15, 20, a couple hundred, incomplete doesn't matter for me. So yeah, this ended up going for, what did this go for? Sorry, I lost track. $14.99, even for incomplete. Complete probably would have been, I probably would have priced it around like $25, if that makes sense. All right, next up we got this is a cool one. It didn't go for too much. Ultra Pro, this is a deck box. This is gonna hold 60 cards or 80. Probably not 80 well. It's probably depends on what type of sleeve you have. If you're into cards, people know what I'm talking about. The sad thing about this is probably the most popular deck size at this point, honestly, is going to be a 100 count deck box. There's a specific format in Magic the Gathering called Commander. It's probably the most popular, general populace played like card game. There's a lot of people into other card games. There's like a bunch of them, like Pokemon. There's going to be Yu-Gi-Oh! All of those don't need a 100 count box, but the most popular is probably going to be commander players from the Magic the Gathering. They like making usually like 10, 20, 30 decks. So they need a bunch of deck boxes. That's why this is a cool little dragon right here. Sorry, I'm like moving it around a bunch. It was labeled like Diamond Dragon Monte. They all have names. It's by Ultra Pro, good card game company. They make a bunch of like sleeves and stuff. They've been super popular all the time. They're not like the only one, but yeah, this ended up selling for $5.50. It would have sold for a lot more if it was a 100 count. I definitely know that for sure. That's an older one, I think. So people like to match the designs, like the dragon, with their theme of, excuse me, with the theme of their deck. All right, Next up is a very unique one. This is a game called Depression. It's a solo game right here. It was in a deck box. On the back here, it looks like someone printed this in the USA, which normally people print this stuff in like China. So like this person was probably either a Kickstarter or they just made their own game, and maybe 100 or 200 of them. It's a solo game. It says it's a solo game up there. I'm assuming this person, I don't know anything about it, so I'm just taking guesses here. I like getting the unique board games, card games, but they probably had some form of depression or knew someone, or they understood the concept enough to make a solo game to probably get people to feel like what it feels like to have depression. That's my guess. So I always look out for unique games like this. This ended up going for $15. So it's really cool that people collect unique games. It's also super cool that there's a lot of card games and board games out there, and a lot of them are rare. That doesn't mean that it's like super fancy. I just think it's like a fascinating concept that someone, if they have the money, if they want to make 100 of a game or something, they can go ahead and do it, and they move on with their life. It doesn't have to be all these companies that make like hundreds of thousands of board games for like, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. All right, cool concept. All right, moving along, we have some circus. Oh, this circus. All right, I don't think, I could be wrong. Not from Vegas. We've Annette and I have been there. We got really lucky. We went to Vegas a couple of months before 2020, so we got really lucky. We did walk into Circus. We went. We did a lot of stuff. We only had like 3 days to go through a bunch of stuff, which it wasn't enough time. It was my first time in Vegas. I think, and I had been there before for work. But yeah, this is going to be like a little cup. This is probably like you earn this in like some kind of like prize machines. They have lots. This is Giants Super Gulp, or maybe you would just get this for drinking. I'm not too sure. It's a little, I'm going to probably do like a little bit of a clean on it. This is a super old listing. Probably got this, I think that we got this from a storage unit flipper. This ended up going for, what did it go for? $5. This is probably within the first few months of us on eBay. So it's super interesting to see it sell. Maybe someone grabbed it because I don't think Circus is around anymore, or it closed and they reopened. Like I said, I'm not from Vegas, so I don't know like the Vegas lore right now. All right, next up we have Zombicide RPG Chronicles. Sorry, Zombicide Chronicles RPG, free RPG day booklet 2. Zombicide's normally a board game. A lot of board game companies that venture into RPG games. My personal opinion is, I don't know why, it's just a lot of people, I don't think it's like a good route. I feel like when people are into board games, they generally like board games, and people who are into RPGs generally are into RPGs because like they're just like two different mindsets. Like the board games usually have more like kinetic hands-on, and then the RPG stuff is usually just like in someone's mind. You know, it's a lot of story, but it's not. Doesn't mean that board games can't have story, and doesn't mean that like I sell the miniatures for the role-playing game all the time. So I understand that there is some crossover. But yeah, these are two booklets for that. I have another one of each of these. I have a couple of more of the day one, and not. I only have one more at day two. Someone did a combo order. This went for $11.66. All right, next up, we're almost done, everyone. Like I said, I'm yapping a lot. This is going to be just a counter sheet. So this is one sheet for the Gettysburg board game. I know there's a couple of them. I forgot to write down which one. This is, let's see if it's on the side. I can't see it over here. But yeah, this is all the counters for the Gettysburg game. There's two boxes I can picture, and one I see more common. This is not for the more common one, but I know you guys can't be in my mind. This is gonna be for like a different box that has like a. Oh, one is vertical. This is for the vertical one, and then there's this horizontal one with like a, I think has one of those like Civil War cannons on it. This vertical box has actually, I think, some troops. I forgot from which side. But yeah, this ended up selling for $14.99. Someone's going to complete their game, or they just want more of the tokens, or they got damaged. I keep talking about. All right, next up is going to be this Matchbox. Get a bunch of little cheap cars during auction. This one is a 2000 Chevrolet Suburban. It's a white one. Pretty good quality. Not too, like, there's not too many marks and wear. So yeah, this one ended up going for $6.50. All right, last thing for the day. Van Squad Leader. We have a combo order, but also these don't, my individual listings don't fit in one bag. So you'll see 4 bags, but it's 2 listings. It's going to be the 20 through 24 right here. Van Squad Leader War Games right here. These are the maps that you kind of lay out, and then you do these scenarios, try to recreate like different wars or most likely different battles. These are the, up here is the number. This is 20 through 24. So that's these two. The higher the number, the more rare I think they were, because the lower numbers were more of the ones in the starter sets. And like I talked about the Hero Quest before, people generally get more of a starter set of something, and then the company produces more of the starter set, and then there's less expansions because there's less people that go from the starter set, like it, stick with it and go to expansions. So these are 32 through 36. So they got a bunch of these. This one I feel kind of bad for that it's going out today, but we could not ship out on Saturday. They bought this like midday Friday. We do have our shipping on where we were allowed to ship this today, which is Monday. But we had to do like Friday earlier, so it's just like we were really in a weird time zone. And by the time I got back, I had like 45 minutes. There was no way I was going to be able to go to the storage units, come here, pack it up, and drop it off at the post office. At best, it would have been an hour. That would have been like my best time. So like I know how long it takes for everything. So yeah, this is going out. Hopefully they're not too sad. $49. I have to do the combined shipping for them. All right, that's everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I hope everyone had a good and safe weekend.